We'll start the show after the intro. It's your boy, Gio, back on another episode of the back at another episode of the Giojackson Show. A lot to talk about today. I believe something happened yesterday. We'll get into it, but I know everyone's here. Everyone's here, dying to hear, my thoughts of what happened. So I'll just jump into it. So today, Chelsea, they played Crystal Palace. They were down 1-0, and Chelsea had an amazing win. They won 3-1. Guy I always criticize, Conor Gallagher, he scored 2 goals. Miraculous comeback. And then Enzo, he scored the last goal. And then he put those rumors to rest of him wanting to leave the club. He came out with a statement saying, he wants to play for Chelsea, wants to play for Champions League, and they're going to fight to be in Champions League. So my thoughts on Chelsea, always happy that Chelsea wins. We needed this win in order for us to fight to maybe make Europe. But, I don't know. I still don't believe in Pochettino, but good win. Good win. Obviously, that's what everyone's here for, to talk Chelsea. Nothing else happened this weekend, I think, right? I mean, what do you guys have to say? Chelsea who? I mean, they won today. Um, that's what everyone's been dying to hear. My takes on. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right. JK Mourinho next season. Hopefully, hopefully. All right, all right, all right. Let's start the show. Super Bowl. So Super Bowl Sunday, yesterday, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Niners. um, man, a lot of emotions. But let's first start off by, congratulations, Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champs, back to back champions, deserved all the way. You know, Obviously they're the best team, best coach. Obviously the go at quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, which we know people asking is Mahomes the go. Yes, I mean, what what did I say last show? He could have not a bad game throughout the game, 3 quarters, even fourth quarters, but if the game is left up to his hands, if all he needs to do is one play, he's gonna do it, and you got to respect that. And yesterday, so what I kept telling the people that was watching the game with me, like I wasn't. We were stopping him, but I was like, we gotta score some points. We can't give him an opportunity to win this game, and that's what happened. Um, so my hats off to them. I mean, deserved champions. Mahomes, like I said, is the goat. You know, now the question is for them is, can they do something that's never been done in the NFL and win 3 in a row? And man, I mean, it looks like it. I don't see, because this Kansas City Chiefs this season, they didn't look as strong as previous seasons. Obviously, in the season, there was a lot of questions on them, and the questions going in the playoffs was, can they win? When they're not at home, they faced the Miami Dolphins team at home. Obviously, we know Miami Dolphins. They were kind of overrated. They handled business. Then it was all right. Go to Buffalo, beat Josh Allen, who some may consider one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They went over there, they handled business. And then the question was, can they go to Baltimore against MVP Lamar Jackson, who's having an amazing season? He won the MVP, obviously. Can they do it? Can they go to Baltimore, win? And they did. They won. And they were underdogs in this Super Bowl. And now the question was, can they beat this all-star team the Niners have? McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, Bosa, Trent Williams, Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Travarius Ward, Lenore, our safety Brown, and they did. They did because they have the great equalizer, which is Patrick Mahomes. So, congratulations, as Tyrese would say. Congratulations. They deserve to win. But now let's get to the nitty gritty of what this show is. Obviously, I'm a Niners fan. I was devastated. And the question here that was given to me is, how do you feel after the Niners match? Um, this one felt, obviously, as the game kept going, I had hope, but I always respected the opponent, as in, yeah, we were up, first half, what, 10-3, 10-0, 10-0. But I was like, man, like there's so many opportunities that we need to take if we really want to win this game, because I've seen this before. I've seen this movie 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I will say this, 4 years ago, 7 minutes left. Obviously, I knew Mahomes was good, but it's not what I know now. I thought we were gonna win. I thought I was finally gonna, win the Super Bowl. And, we know what happened. The Chiefs came back, they won. This Super Bowl, I was in the fall for that bait. I was like, a famous quote that I always like to say: if you come at the king, you best not miss. And it was like we had it. Our defense played amazing. Nothing against our defense. There was a lot of talk on the San Francisco 49ers defense. That they showed no effort. I even, on Thursday, I said, Fred Warner got to step up. Chase Young, Eric Armstead, like, you guys have to step up, and they stepped up. They were stopping Mahomes. They made Mahomes uncomfortable. They made their team. They rattled their team. They were, and what did I also say? You want them to start, you know, arguing with each other, to start, getting rattled. Everything was going great. And the one thing that we were saying all season long is, this season we have an offense that could score points, that that could put up points, and they didn't come through. And the person to blame on that has to be, Kyle Shanahan. He's an offensive genius. That's what everyone talks about. He's an offensive genius. You know, if someone would have told me the Niners are gonna hold the Chiefs to 19 points, Mahomes is gonna throw a pick, Pacheco isn't gonna. If we're real, Pacheco didn't really have explosive plays. He was getting some yards, but we were able to stop him. And that first half, Kelsey, he didn't do anything. If you told me all that, I was like, man, we're gonna win. We're gonna get the 6. Like, there's no way, the Niners don't score more than 22 points. But all that happened, and we lost. We lost. I know obviously what I've been reading today, what I've been hearing is a lot of people are blaming Kyle Shanahan. Obviously, you got the people that I saw. I think Shannon Sharp. He was saying, he lost a little. They were talking about Purdy, but I don't put this on Purdy. I think Purdy, he played not to lose. He made plays. I mean, he took the team to positions to score. But you could also, I mean, the thing with Purdy is, right, this is his first year. He's young. He's gonna get better. We've seen throughout the season, he was consideration MVP. I believe in him. I'm not gonna lose hope on him. But what I expect from him, is to win the Super Bowl. But we go back to the conversation that we've been having: game changer, game manager, game manager. Se me salió el choke right there. And what we saw is Mahomes, when he needed, to make that play to what Purdy did in the NFC Championship, the running for those yards, this is Mahomes, and Purdy, he made enough plays, but he didn't make those type of plays. But like I said, he's young. He's going to get better. And hopefully, obviously these next coming years, he needs to get better because we are going to lose, you know, those star players that we have, that we had this year. Purdy, first full season Super Bowl matchup. What more do people want? Exactly. And he played the GOAT. I mean, he played, well, you could say one of the best of all time. So I'm not worried about Purdy. He's going to get better. But let's get into, well, before I get into Kyle Shanahan, man, Dre Greenlaw. Devastating loss. Devastating loss. The way he got injured. As I've been saying, he's probably been him and Lenore probably been our best defensive players all year. He's a monster. He's the heartbeat of the defense. He was having an amazing game, and for him to get injured like that, it was a gut punch. It was devastating, and I'm sure it was devastating for the team. They felt it. They felt it. And I will say, Oren Burks, who took over for him, he played decent. Obviously, he's a backup for a reason. He got caught on the a couple plays against Kelsey, but the defense played great. Like, obviously, if Greenlaw, I don't know. You can't say if Greenlaw was there, we would have won. Who knows? But man, such devastating, man. And I hope he gets better. And now the question is, obviously it's an Achilles. I doubt he'll be back for the season. He might be back at the second half of the season, but we gotta potentially look into replacements for him for next season. But we'll get into that later on. We have a long way to go. And honestly, yeah, like back to how I was feeling after the game. It didn't hurt, but I just felt numb. It was numbing. I had no emotion, and I was like, man, like I don't want to hear about football for a while. And the reason why is because obviously the Niners are my team. I'm a root for them no matter what. It is what it is. We lost to the better team. But the question is, will Shanahan ever get us over the hump? And do I trust Kyle Shanahan? I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? But I think is what has he learned? What has he learned? How has he improved? It's that saying, right? Like he keeps doing the same thing, expecting different results, right? So is he insane? But this was an identical game of 2019, and what this whole season, what were we talking about? This team is stacked. He finally, 4 years ago we had Mostert and Coleman. Now we have the offensive player of the year, Christian McCaffrey. Yes, he fumbled, but it happens. I would have still, gave him the ball. We have a better quarterback than Jimmy G. 4 years ago the talk was, he missed that throw to Emmanuel Sanders. He missed a couple throws, to seal the game. And now we had a Brock Purdy who was better. We kept saying, if we had a player similar to Purdy, we potentially win that game. We have that. The defense played lights out. The defense played like they did 4 years ago. Mahomes was rattled. Everything was there. Ayuk, Debo, Trent Williams. And it was the same thing. He played scared. He always plays not to lose. And to win a championship, to win the Super Bowl, you got to play to win. Look at Andy Reid. They said, right, so obviously there's been a lot of talk about overtime, about how the Niners, they should have deferred to them because I guess it's better if they get the ball first and let's say they score or they get a field goal, you have the potential to win the game by scoring the touchdown, or you match them with a touchdown. And potentially you can go for two to win the whole game, right? And that's what Kansas City said. They said if the Niners would have scored a touchdown first, they're going to go for two if they score the touchdown because you play to win. You don't play it safe. And Kyle Shanahan, he plays it safe. I don't know, he overthinks things. And these past, let's see what you guys got to say. They should have ran the ball. Exactly. First half was all Niners, but they didn't capitalize on Chiefs' mistakes. Exactly. But that's the thing. Like, us Niners fans, wouldn't we feel confident that our offense could score points? Like, obviously, the first drive, we fumbled, right? It happens, but they fumbled it right back to us. So now we have a chance to score. And I don't know, man. It's like Kyle overthinks things too much. Like, run the ball. We have offensive player of the year, Christian McCaffrey. We have a weapon in Debo Samuel. Like, what happened to the end arounds? What happened to the screen games with him? We're putting Debo in situations where it's not what he's good at, running routes, getting open like that. You need to give him the ball in space, and we didn't do that. Man, who would have thought that our best offensive player was going to be Juwan Jennings? He threw a touchdown. He made incredible plays. He was clutch. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know. He hasn't learned anything. And what the past 4 years have showed me, and the reason why a lot of people don't mess with us, a lot of other teams fans don't mess with us because they say, we're the 40 whiners. We whine a lot. 4 years ago when we lost, it was Jimmy G and Bosa got held. The refs, whatever. Okay, 2020 COVID, we got a lot of injuries. Whatever happens. 2021 NFC Championship against the Rams. Oh, if Jacoski Tard catches that interception, we win the game. Could be, could not. We don't know. There was still a lot of time in that game. We could have not scored, gave the ball back to them. It's a team game. Last year, Purdy doesn't get injured, we make it to the Super Bowl. And then after that, what did the Niners players, do throughout the last year's Super Bowl week? Oh, we would have beat them, blah, blah, blah. This one, leaves a bad taste in our mouth. It's like, bro, just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. We're here. We're here yesterday. Prove it. Show us that you're the champions. Because throughout these 4 years, you guys have been talking like we're the champions. We're the best team in the NFL. If this would have happened, we would have won. Blah 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 blah. Well, it's there. It's there for the taking. And how did we start off this week? Charvarius Ward in his press conference. We're gonna turn up the first night and then we're gonna lock in. No, dude. Lock in since last week. Turn up today when you win. Why are you turning up the week before? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like you're about to win a Super Bowl. It's like, why are you thinking about enjoying Vegas? Like, fuck Vegas. Like, the point you're there, you're in business to win the Super Bowl. Then you can party. Then you can do whatever the fuck you want. Sorry, I need to my language. But man, you got Kyle the first night drunk, and I know last week I said whatever, as long as he knows what he has to do, it's fine. But obviously he wasn't ready because he didn't know the overtime rules. He did not know the overtime rules. He wasn't prepared. I mean, what does the Chiefs defense do? They blitz a lot. And why aren't you designing plays to, for Purdy to just dump the ball off quick to McCaffrey, or, tell your own linemen, not to miss blocks, how they did on the overtime play where we kicked the field goal. There was a missed block by, well, actually, I'll get into it later, but I guess, so Feliciano, our guard, he was injured and Burford stepped in. And on Twitter, Feliciano was like, oh, our right tackle McKivitz didn't miss the block. It was, the other person. And then, they're beefing on Twitter. Our own players are beefing on Twitter, putting the blame on each other. But it just falls to our coach, because our coach, he can never look at himself and say, I messed up. I need to be better. It's always, I did the best that I could. And, we didn't execute plays. It's like, bro, you're the leader. Put that shit on you. You're the one to blame. We got Cowboys fans here saying you guys should have ran the ball more. I'm saying I don't know anything about football of like the X's and O's, but I'm saying, bro, run the ball. Like, it's that simple. Like, don't overthink it. Like, the Chiefs didn't want you to run the ball. They specifically said we want Purdy to throw the ball because they know they're not going to stop the run, and that's what happened to Lamar at the AFC Championship game. They didn't want them to run the ball, so I don't know. It's like, okay, if they're going to stack the box, whatever. Our best thing is running the ball. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the best thing you're good at. Run behind Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, and Kyle Juszczyk. Like, McCaffrey's going to get you 3-4 yards. Like, why are we throwing the ball 1st and 10 with a empty backfield. They know we're not going to run the ball. Like, if you want to fool them, at least put McCaffrey in the backfield so they know potentially they could run the ball, and just more deception. And it's like, obviously it falls on Kyle. He wasn't prepared. I don't know. And going forward, I mean, how confident I am, if we're going to go over the hump, if we're going to win the Super Bowl. This was the year. This was the year to win it. Next year's going to get even harder because our players are going to get older. We're going to have to pay Ayuk, and a lot of players are leaving. Obviously, we're not going to be able to pay everyone that leaves. We have a bunch of free agents. And teams in the I still think we're one of the top teams in the NFC, but the Lions are going to get way better. If they make key additions to their team, man, that's a scary team. I still don't believe in Jared Goff, but there's them. There's the Packers. There's the Rams. The Rams are going to get better, even though I think Matthew Stafford is getting older, but Matthew Stafford is an elite quarterback. We'll see what Seattle does. They have a new coach, but I think Seattle, the only thing that's holding them back is the quarterback. So it's going to be tough to get back. It's going to be tough to get back. And you're going to have to play the Chiefs again if we do make it to the Super Bowl, unless something happens in the AFC. But that's what your team should be built around, beating the Chiefs if you want to win the Super Bowl. And it starts by, let's get some O-linemen. Let's get some O-linemen. Other than that, I mean, what more does this team need? What more does it want? This is the best team in player-wise. I'm not, obviously they lost, but player-wise, this is the best team in the NFL. Player-wise, like any team would want the players we have, and this was it. This was our chance. So maybe that's why, to me, it's felt, I don't know, numbing, because I'm like, man, everything that, this was probably the worst Chiefs team that they've had, and they still beat us. We had the better team, the better players. How are we going to beat this team? So I don't believe in Kyle. Do you fire him? I mean, you can't fire him, but maybe he needs other coaches around him that, I don't know, kind of check him. I feel like the coaches he has, they're all yes men. They just say, whatever you say, Kyle, you're the genius. And he has to have people that'll check him, that'll tell him, hey, you know what? You fucking up right now. Like, let's do this, let's do that. Maybe like I said, maybe you convince Bill Belichick to join our staff as a consultant or a defensive coordinator. You can pay him whatever you want, Jed York. And don't get me started on Jed York, which is our owner, if you don't know. Literally a week ago saying, oh, if we would have lost to the Lions this season, the season would have been a success. No, dude. Like you said it yourself when we follow Harbaugh, we don't hang NFC Championship banners. We hang Super Bowl banners. And your uncle, he went undefeated in Super Bowls, going 5-0, and you're 0-3. So stick to what you know. Pay those checks and shut your mouth. Let's see what you guys got to say. How many more seasons do you give Shanahan? Man, if next season is the same thing, I don't know. Well, I mean, that's the thing. They literally, week 3, after we beat the Giants this season, they just got signed, new deals. Him and John Lynch, hey, he's doing a great job as a GM. He's the one giving Kyle Shanahan the players. I mean, Kyle. But like I said, they signed a, I think, 3-4 year new deal. But that's the thing. Like, I don't think you saw what Jed York, owner, said on his interview. He's happy with the result. At the end of the day, Jed York is happy because he's making money. Like, I want to shout out the faithful, the fans, because, man, they came through. They support the team. They went to Vegas. It seemed like a home game. Those tickets were expensive. The merchandise that they sold this past week, like, Jed York's happy. He's making money. And why is he going to fire someone that's making the money? Obviously, to him, making money is more important than, winning Super Bowls. So I don't know if he'll fire him next year. But if that was me, if it was the Bartolo, the owner before Jed York, he would have fired Carl last year. But for me, I mean, if this year is the same thing, I mean, I don't know, maybe they need a breath of fresh air. Someone new, but también who's out there. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes next year. Like I said, Bill Belichick is still out there. He has 6 Super Bowl rings. I doubt he would want to come like as a consultant or a defensive coordinator, but who knows? Money talks. I would like to have him at, Kyle, you worry about the offense and let Bill Belichick worry about the rest. The defense, coaching, he's experienced, but I doubt they do something like that. Um, so another question is, do you still trust Purdy? Like I said, I still trust Purdy. He's young. He made enough plays to win the game yesterday. He set up the team to win. But he needs to improve. He needs to improve if he wants to be that game changer. Um, but like I said, he didn't have an offseason to actually improve because he was rehabbing. This season now, he gets to improve. He has that motivation. This is a contract year for him too, because if he plays anywhere at the level that he played this season, he's gonna make big money. But I want to see it for one more season because next season, the Niners are gonna have to make that decision to pay him. Well, depending on what the price will be next year, $50 million a year, and then it really has to be on him because we won't have enough money to put a super team around him. So it's next year. But I still believe in Purdy. I trust him. He had an amazing season. First full season as a starter. Who else? Maybe we could draft someone this year, not in the first round, but someone intriguing that has traits. But I think I want to see him with a good O-line. He has Trent Williams. We need a right tackle. I want to see him because what happened yesterday too was him being, obviously he's not short, but in NFL quarterback, he's pretty short, small. He gets a lot of tip balls. When he tries to throw it, a lot of the D linemen tip the balls, pause. So I want a good O-line around him, see what he can do, see with him with time. So we got to see. What about Moody? Do you trust Moody? Say what you want about Moody. This past season, obviously, we had a lot of questions for him, but he made some kicks yesterday, 55 and 53. He had the record for the longest field goal in Super Bowl history until Bucker kicked 57. He made the kicks. It was unfortunate that he makes the extra point. And I know a lot of people are saying if he would have scored the extra point, maybe we would have won. But let's say he scores the extra point, right? Then it's what was it? It would have been 2016 instead of 1916. You really think Mahomes wouldn't have scored that touchdown to win the game? Obviously, being 1916, all they had to do was get the field goal. But a lot of people are saying the extra point, the punt, the Niners had it. They had the opportunity to win this game by scoring more points. Starting the second half, we get that interception. We're at the half field. All they really need is maybe like 25 yards to kick a field goal. But yet they go 3 and out. So as I've been saying, this all falls on one person, and that's Kyle Shanahan, our coach. He's the one that for us to draft him in the 3rd round, where we potentially could have drafted a lineman, another player. We could have, that's the thing. Like with kickers, he's the best. He was the best kicker in college, right? But we could have got Aubrey, who the Cowboys got, as an undrafted free agent. And he was perfect the whole season. I'm sure Bonnie can attest to that. Pause. Another question we have: should the Niners have gone for it on 4th and 4 instead of kicking the field goal? Like I said, scare money don't make money. 4th and 4. If the Chiefs stop you there, they still got to go. It was. I think it was on the 7-yard line, so they got to go maybe like 55 yards to kick the game-winning field goal, right? I say go for it, man, because you're 4 yards I don't know. You're like what, 6 yards from winning a Super Bowl? I mean, from getting a touchdown and putting a lot of pressure on the Chiefs to score a touchdown. I think instead of that play on the 3rd and 4, instead of passing it, I say you run it with McCaffrey, and if he gets you 2 yards, then it's 4th and 2, and you run it with McCaffrey again because he's the best offensive player in the NFL. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you put all your trust in McCaffrey? The Chiefs put all their trust in their best player, which is Mahomes. Why couldn't we do the same? And this was throughout the whole game. And we've been talking about this for a couple weeks now. It's like, why are we passing the ball in 1st and 10? Like, why don't we run the ball? McCaffrey's going to get us 4-5 yards sometimes. When they put Elijah Mitchell in, he was running the ball great. And don't get me started on my boy Jordan Mason. I know if you really follow the Niners, you know this guy. I've never seen them lose yards. It's like we have 3 running backs that were, if Elijah Mitchell and Jordan Mason were on any other team, they would be, I don't know, I don't know if they'll be starters, but they potentially will share a backfield. And it's like, bro, like Kyle Shanahan, you are all about running the ball. Like the first weeks, we kept telling you, stop running the ball with McCaffrey, give the ball to somebody else because we don't want him to get injured. And on the biggest game now that it doesn't matter, just because he fumbled, you overthink things, and it's like, bro, it's like you're not going to change. And Kyle, I don't know what goes through his head. And I don't know, it's just arrogance. Arrogance. He thinks he probably does nothing wrong. He thinks he's always right. And it boils down to, man, if we want to be real, if we want to talk real, like we had the opportunity to get Mahomes too. Mahomes could have been a Niner, but what did Kyle say? I want Kirk Cousins. We're gonna get Kirk Cousins. I'm not even gonna put time into scouting Mahomes because for me, Kirk Cousins is the one I want. It's like, man, what could have been, right? And it would and the reason why I bring this up because 3 years later we try to do the thing. We try to do that with Trey Lance. We went for someone that has potential upside. But the reason why it didn't work out is because now at that 3 years later, at that time, our team is ready to win Super Bowls, is ready to compete. And the thing with Trey Lance is he needed time to develop. So why didn't you do it in 2017 when our team was ass and you let this young quarterback, it could have been Watson, could have been Mahomes, play through, develop. And by now, who knows how many Super Bowls we would have had, but el hubiera no existe. And that's not, what happened in for us. Should the Niners draft a better kicker and offensive players? I don't think they should draft a kicker at all. You can get undrafted free agents. You can sign a veteran. I don't think you should waste your draft pick on a kicker, on a player that is very important, but you can get, like I said, off the street. My boy Chidi, we can sign him. He can kick field goals. He can make $500,000. I'm sure he'll do it. But offensive players, I mean, like I said, what more does this team need? I think they should draft a lineman. They gotta maybe draft a linebacker. But I think, man, honestly, just draft solid O linemen. This is what this team basically only needs. I mean, what more do we want? I mean, it's a draft, right? If a top player falls to us and we have a potential to draft him, of course, take him. Why would you pass up on a amazing player just because you don't need him? Like, the more the merrier. But kicker, don't draft a kicker anymore. I only watch martial arts sports, but I just found this, so I'm gonna say hi. How's it going, man? Big UFC this week. It has good matchups. Volkanovski and Tuporia. It's a great day today. Yeah, it's all right. Where odds are with the Niners to win the Super Bowl next year? Do you agree? How are the Chiefs not the favorite to win the Super Bowl again? That's my question. They beat us. They have the best quarterback ever, the GOAT. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for them to be the favorite when you have a coach like Kyle Shanahan who tends to choke. I mean, that's his legacy right now. He's 0-2 as a coach, and when he was a coordinator, he lost one with a lead of 28-3. So I don't agree. I think they're one of the favorites, but not the favorite. I think it has to be the Chiefs. Sorry, primo. I appreciate the condolences. It is what it is. Okay, gang bang niner or something like that. I know we've been getting a lot of hate these, yesterday, today. I know I've seen a lot of fans of other teams, you know, in have enjoyment of us losing. And it goes with the territory, right? Because I'm sure if we would have won, we would have been obnoxious, right? But that's what sports all about. Bring it on. It is what it is. Speaking of which, I had a question right here. Tony, as you know, our fellow rat leader, I invited him over to watch the game with me. I wanted him right next to me, and because, like I told him, if we win, it's that much sweeter because you're right next to me. But if we lose, you got to take it. You give and you take. Pause. But I will say this: the rat, he was forgiving yesterday. He felt bad. I'm sure he felt bad. But I know for the next couple months, I won't hear the end of it, and it's okay. Wasn't there a commercial about birds migrating and whatnot? Thoughts on Jim Harbaugh coming back to the Chargers? Wasn't there a commercial about birds? What you guys think about the commercials? I was talking about this. Man, I didn't think they were that great. The halftime show, amazing, man. Usher, boy, killed it. That was great. But the commercials, they weren't so great. Thoughts on Jim Harbaugh going to the Chargers, man? Bro, that team, watch out, Raiders, because now you have the Chiefs and you have Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, and they want to get Saquon Barkley as their running back. Watch out. I mean, that's another team, and like I said, that it just makes it harder for the Niners because now there's going to be more teams. But throughout this season, I've been saying Justin Herbert, I think he's an amazing quarterback, and I feel like he might be MVP. The movie trailer was dope for Deadpool. I saw it. Yeah, man, that looks good. Yeah, yes, sir. On Herbert. Speaking of the, but last thing on this. Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing a lot of people talking crap, but I will say this. Some people have been talking a lot of crap, but those same people I see crying over women on social media, and I'll leave it at that. But have your day. Where should Justin Fields go if the Bears take Caleb Williams? Steelers is one. I heard Steelers, they're very interested in Justin Fields. They're looking for a quarterback, and that's a great position. Obviously, the Steelers, they play cold weather. You need someone that has a bazooka of an arm. He can run the ball. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of giving up on Justin Fields, and I feel like he improved a lot this season. That's one. I say the Raiders is another one. They need a quarterback. You build a team around Justin Fields. That could be one. And I know you guys are looking for a quarterback. He's already played in the NFL. That's another one. But those are the two that come to my mind. There's the Falcons as well. That would be scary. Him with B. John Robinson. They have Kyler Pitts. They have Drake London. So that's another team too. But I think the Bears, I don't think they should take. I think Caleb Williams isn't going to be good. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about him. I think I like I said, I like Penix. The only thing about him is the injuries. But I don't know. I think maybe they should trade. If I was the Bears, trade your first round pick, and just build a team around Justin Fields. Like give him some more, give him weapons, O line. They have an all right defense. But we'll see. Thoughts on Tawachai? I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. But is that a fighter? Or are you trolling? But I'm not sure. Now, tomorrow, Champions League is back. Super Bowl football is over, and now we're back to football. We got Copenhagen Man City. We got Leipzig versus Real Madrid. Obviously, I mean, Man City, right? I mean, that would be a historic upset. Man City, they're the current champs. And then you got Madrid versus Leipzig. Not sure how Leipzig has been doing, but obviously I'm going Madrid. This is the first legs. Then Wednesday, this matchup this week on Tuesday and Wednesday, I mean, it's PSG Real Sociedad. I guess you could say that's a pretty even one. Then there's Lazio Bayern. I know Bayern not having the best of seasons, but still Bayern Munich. They have players, and so I'm going for the first leg. City, Real Madrid, PSG, but like a 1-0 win, maybe a tie. They are playing at home, and then I'm going Bayern. But very excited for that. Y nada más. Muay Thai fighter. He is lethal. Yeah, I don't really watch Muay Thai, but man, they could get down, and a lot of Muay Thai practitioners they fight in the UFC. But I'll take a look. Lazio versus Bayern. That's the one you think is close, Javi? How's Lazio doing? I'm not like I said. Now that football season is over, I'm back into football, so I'll get in. I'll get more into it, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Obviously, my Chelsea's not in the Champions League, so I'll get to watch with neutralize this Champions League and enjoy it. Obviously, finishing up the season as well for the major leagues. But who's your guys' favorite to win the Champions League? I would say obviously Man City's there, Real Madrid. I think those are be probably the two favorites. Other than maybe Arsenal, they've been playing pretty well these past couple weeks. And I like Arteta, their coach. Barca? Javi, one last bang, wins the Champions League before he leaves. Saw the reports that Mourinho may take over Bayern. Ooh. George, are you here? He's never here because he never supports. But George don't deserve happiness. He don't. I need to do my taxes, George, so I'll be putting you as a dependent. Bayern, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Bayern got the team, they got the squad. So, yeah, I mean, but next week, PSG, Dortmund. I got Dortmund. But next week, we'll talk at the other legs. Man, I remember when in the old format, all the teams would play 1 week, but now they split them. Obviously, they want to make the most money that they can. But it sucks that we got to wait like 1 week and then another week. And then in March, we'll get the second legs. But after this leg, man, is when it gets interesting. And I enjoy Champions League football. It's the best. Now, what's your favorite pan dulce? Great question. As a panera, as a Mexican pan enthusiast, obviously you have, your elite options, right? Conchas. You got the cup one that has like the muffin one. You have what else? The sugar ones, but for me, my always go to was the one that had the colorful sprinkles. That's a elite pick. But then there's also ones that it's like a circle and there's pink, yellow, but they had a chocolate chip one. That was also a go-to one. So that would be my go-to one. The sprinkles one or the chocolate chip like bread circle one. That one's a good one. Do you guys like the puerquito one? Have you seen that one? Some people like it. It's kind of dry, but what do you guys think? The cookie one, the sprinkles fire. Yep. MLS starting soon. We'll get in MLS. El Niño Envuelto. Which one's that one, Bunny? I never heard of that one. I might have seen it, but I didn't know. I don't know if that's the name of it. But that one sounds interesting. Javi, you gonna be in the Miami versus Galaxy? Que chitty about to crack Messi. But that would be my pick. Those are my picks. Statistically, driving drunk is more safe than driving sober. First of all, I don't condone drunk driving. Please, if you drink, call an Uber, call myself. I'll go pick you up. It's a very serious thing. Don't drive drunk. You don't want to risk someone else's life, your own life, and the consequences that comes by doing that. Now, statistically speaking, potentially it is more safer because a lot of people don't drive drunk, right? And more people are driving sober, so there's more chances of collisions, accidents. So maybe that's why, statistically speaking, driving drunk is safer, right? Because there's less people doing it. But again, don't drive drunk. Be responsible. Strawberry swirl. Yeah. That one's badass. Cuernitos all day. Cuernitos. Yep. Cuernitos classic. Yep. Now, very controversial topic that's coming up next. Do I think Valentine's Day is overrated? Obviously, Valentine's Day this year is coming on a very depressing couple days for me. So if I don't get happiness, then my significant other shouldn't get happiness as well. It's only fair. Valentine's Day is very overrated. They expect everything. They not only want you to think of something for them, right? They expect gifts. They expect flowers. And it's like, what about me? I don't get flowers. Why can't I be wine and dine? Why does the guy have to do it, right? We always talk about equality, and yet, that they want to be independent, but yet they expect these things from us because it's what the culture, right? But I thought you guys want to be independent. I thought you guys want to be fair. It's just my 2 cents on it. I'm kidding. It's a joke. By her. There he is. Round of applause. He's here. The rat. This is all I want right here. Give me 10 forwards and I'm happy. Give me 10 forwards. I guess that's what the Niners needed. They need more offensive weapons. But I'm kidding, guys. Valentine's Day is not overrated. Well, let's dig deep, right? If it takes you, obviously it was a joke, guys. It's a joke. Ha ha ha. We're joking. But if you only show like love with your significant other on one day, then it could be a little bit overrated because aren't you supposed to show that every day? Obviously, some days you might not be in the best of moods, but then your partner got you. And then other days she might not be in the best of moods, or he, whatever, however you guys flow. We're everyone's loved here. And it's like, one day, you give it, one day you take, and it should be every day. But I guess, right, it's just on the 14th is emphasized a little bit more. The women, they like their flowers, they like their candy, they like their chocolates, they like their gifts, they like to be taken out to a fancy restaurant. It's good. It's a good celebration. Obviously, when you don't have a girlfriend or a wife or boyfriend or whatever, it could be depressing because all you see is happy couples celebrating, posting. But just remember that people will only post the good things in life of what's going. People will never post when they're down, when they're depressed, because people want to show how they are at their best, But just remember, your significant other is out there. Just it will come if you're in that boat. If you're not, what are your guys' plans for Valentine's Day? Or what are your thoughts on it? There's a little truth beneath every just kidding. I like to joke. We're joking here. But another question. This one I like because I got a funny story. Do you like to give out those Valentine's Day treat cards when you're in elementary school? Man, that was probably the best, right? Especially you tell your mom, take me to Target, you find a cool one, like a Ninja Turtles one or a Batman one or a Superman one, or girls, I don't know what, Hello Kitty, whatever. Y pues, you touch your candy, you get the list of your class and you're like, oh, my boy, I'm gonna hook him up with like two candies, or like, oh, the girl I like, I'm gonna pick the best card and put like a heart, and that was fun. But my funny story was in elementary school. I'm not gonna say no names, but I think we were in third or second grade, and so everyone, you have your bag. People put their cards. Yap was, everyone in the class is reading theirs, and one girl, I think it was hilarious, but basically one girl, instead of writing nice things, she wrote horrible things about the class. So like, you know, for like, girls are, oh, you have like ugly hair, or you're ugly. Like for me, she was like, don't eat too much candy. I thought it was hilarious. But obviously she got in trouble for it. Because we were kids, and she ended up having to write like nice things to us. But that's one like memory to this day that I remember. Shout outs to her. I think it was hilarious. At that time, I thought it was hilarious because obviously everyone writes nice things, but she wrote like messed up things too, like people in the class like. But I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. So shouts out to you. Um, how about this? What do you guys do for your significant other on Valentine's Day? Do you buy the chocolates? Do you go to dinner? Like what do you guys do? She bought the full special edition pack. Bro, it's like when we played what was that game we were, I remember was shout out Pancho and his girl Fabi. She was ruthless against you. She didn't hold back. That's sure a little too tight, fam. The Valentine's Day rose isn't for everyone. But what do you guys do? Like, Nene, what do you do? I'm sure you go all out, and I'm sure right now, you go all out for your shout out again, Hema, if you're watching. Oh, and last week, my boy Bonnie, he texted me, but congratulations, Bonnie and Jackie, on your engagement. Congratulations. I wish nothing but the best. Can't wait for the wedding. Congratulations. Tell them about the King So special. That's the full special. So King's Cup, right? I forgot how to play because I don't drink anymore. Blah blah blah. But you have 52 cards of a deck. Every card has a rule, and Tony decided that usually a rule is like, I guess, say something nice about. You're welcome. Say something nice about someone in the table, but obviously Tony, he said say something mean about the person. So everyone was kind of nice about it, like, oh, I don't like how good you look today. It was Tony, he was harsh. So Fabi, Pancho's girlfriend, she went, Tony, that shirt a little too tight on you, bro. Y pues we all started cracking up, and I forgot what else she said. So to this day, Tony and Fabi, they beefing. Congrats, Bonnie and Jackie. Congrats. Wish nothing but love. It was about time. Best romantic song. Ooh, that's a good one. Obviously, we got Luis Miguel. He got bangers. Um, who else? Pepe Aguilar. Does he got bangers? I know MJ. He got a couple that I like. The Barge. They got a good one. Ooh, and I like it. And then you got na 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 night and day. Na, 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 about you. Ooh. You got who else? I know there's a lot of songs, but one best romantic song, like to get in the mood. Oh, la de my whole life has changed since you came in. I know back then you were that special one. I'm so in love, so deep in love. That's genuine. That's a good one. Pretty reggae. It's 5 in the morning, and I'm all talking. That's a bang. That one. But there's a lot of bangers out there. MB Riders, ooh, that's a good one. MB Riders, what else? Ah, I feel like I'm missing a lot, but oh, let me be the one to give you everything you want and need. Oh, baby, good love and protection. Come on, Lee. But yeah, man. I mean, obviously, we're in that we're a couple days away from Valentine's Day, so hopefully, you guys spend it with your significant other. Do everything you got to make them happy. Forever at the patio. Yep, them days, them karaoke days at the patio. Late question: do you think players at Niners will take pay cuts? No, because I mean, why should they? They're the best players at their position. The ones that are well, there's a lot of players we're losing in free agency, right? And if you're talking about them maybe potentially signing with us for less, I don't. I mean, would you? Let's say you enjoy where you work, but another job offers you 2 times the money you're making for doing the exact same thing. Would you stay where you wanna, where you like it, or would you take the money? So it depends. Some players do. Some players, hey man, go get your bag. I mean, you could see what happened to Greenlaw. He popped his Achilles. He's probably not going to be the same anymore. And you know, good thing he got paid, because if he didn't, then it's like, man, thank you for your services. I wish you all the best. So go get paid. I want to you. That's a good one. Last question. Top 5 Super Bowl halftime performance. Jackie question. Oof. The Usher one yesterday was and we got another congratulations. Usher, that was a good one that I've seen. I'm gonna go that I've seen because I know Michael Jackson had one, but I wasn't born yet, and he was considered one of the best halftime performances, but that I've seen, right? That Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson one for the infamy, it got to be up there. I like the Usher one, the Weekend one. That one was good. The one where they had all the when they had 50 Cent struggling upside down. That one was a good one. But honestly, I know a lot of people they look forward to halftime show. To me, it's like whatever. But yeah, I would say those. But I did enjoy last night's Super Bowl performance by Usher. It brought back memories. I mean, puro classic, right? Here you had "You Don't Have to Call," and then they had "Yeah," they had "Burn," they had "Confessions," they had, and then like Alicia Keys, she sang her song. Shakira and J Lo. Oh, my bad. It's just the reason why, because the Niners were in that Super Bowl and I was locked in. So, but that's a good one too. Missy Elliott taking over Katy Perry's también, all with the shark, right? But I think yesterday, I really enjoyed yesterday's, to be honest, a lot. It was good. Had me singing, had Tony singing, had Vic singing. Um, Great question. Uh, Anything else? Should I do a quick UFC rundown? Because, like I said, this UFC is going to be popping this week. Obviously, we got Volkanovski versus Tuporia. Missy Elliott surprise camel. The weekend was cool. Yep, had a lot of memes. Also, has anyone heard of Vic? Vic showed up. I have proof. He's not Bigfoot. He was here yesterday. I saw him in flesh. Um, Shout out Vic. Still the same. But we got obviously we'll start with the main event, Volkanovski Tuporia. Tuporia is undefeated. Volkanovski, obviously, one of the best featherweights of our time. He did come off a loss against one of the GOATs, Islam Makachev. But I don't know, man. I feel like Tuporia is going to do it. I don't know. I like how crisp he is with his hands. Is that a pause? Pause. I'll say it. But he has good hands, knockout power. But the question is, can he stop Alexander Volkanovski's wrestling, his takedowns? I feel like Volkanovski might get caught, so I'm going to Poria. Then they got Robert Whitaker, Paulo Costa. If Paulo Costa doesn't pull out, because pause again, Paulo Costa usually he doesn't make it to fights. He something happens, he gets injured, he pulls out. Pause. Um, but I got Robert Whitaker. He bounces back from his loss. Paulo Costa hasn't been the same since he lost to Adesanya. So I got him. Jeff Neal, Ian Gary. Ian Gary, right? That's the cook. He lets his wife get smacked around. But I'm going Gary. He's undefeated, 13-0 against Jeff Neal. But yeah, I'm going Ian Gary. And then we got this one, banger. And it starts off, I think it's one of the first fights. El Merab versus El Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Big Mike. Oh, Big Mike, you here? Man, I heard you got to pay some bets. Not just to the rap, but to Chidi. Pay up, man. You make those bets, you gotta be a man of your word, man. Anyways, Merab versus Henry Cejudo. If he shaves his mustache, he got it. Who, El Merab? Oh, yeah, but I'm going Merab. I think he'll do it. And then we got El Fluffy Hernandez versus Roman Kuplov. Both similar records, and I think El Roman Kuplov, he's short notice because I see right here El Fluffy, he was supposed to fight somebody else. So I'm gonna go Fluffy. On that. Let's see what the prelims got. Mackenzie Dern, she fights against Amanda Lemos. Gotta go Dern. You know why? And they got my boy Justin Tafa too versus El Marcos Rodriguez de Lima. Is that el? Oh, that guy's good. Hey, it's a banger card. Where are we watching them, boys? I like it. So that's the prelims, and then the main card. Haven't seen a good UFC lately. Obviously, there's a website. If you like to stream to the east, maybe you'll find that website. Who knows? But Warriors, let's talk Warriors, man. How they do? Did they play today? I think they were playing today, right? And they're winning. I'm sure they're winning because you commented, but they're doing better. A couple games ago, Curry had 60, and the team didn't help him out, but he made a clutch three. What was it, Saturday, to win the game against KD? So hey, looking forward to Warrior season as well. And then just to end up the show, thank you guys again for the support. I appreciate you guys always tuning into the live. We're getting a lot more people in the live. I like the engagement. And going forward, obviously football season comes to an end. Unfortunate end for us Niners fans, but what a season, guys. But now, we're focused on other things. Soccer, basketball. We'll do some UFC. Let's see what else we get into. And let's see what else, I'll bring to the show to make it entertaining. Obviously, football was a big part of it. We'll still have the draft to look forward to. So I'll be breaking down players, and I'll try to do it for, most of the teams that people follow here: Seahawks, Cowboys, Raiders, Steelers. But I just want to say thank you guys. And thank you guys again for watching the podcast that was released. A lot of people enjoyed it. It got a lot of views. So I'm working to get somebody else. So stay tuned. But if there's no more questions, guys, I appreciate it. Have a wonderful start of your week. Hope everything's good. Niners fans, I know the feeling. It hurts. It still hurts me. Every time I close my eyes, I just, I picture it. Oh, actually, I forgot one thing. Fuck Taylor Swift. Fucking cunt. I'm out. Peace. I'm still here. Hold on. I'm out.